What's up guys, JV2017 here, and today I wanted to share my overall thoughts on the Nuka World DLC for Fallout 4. As we all know, this is the final DLC for the game, and I've spent at least 10 to 15 hours playing through the story on my Let's Play and exploring on my own. While I haven't done everything, I feel I've had enough experience to give a review on this new content. Since I know some of you may be watching to decide whether you want to buy the DLC or not, I'll start with a no spoilers section. Once we get into spoiler territory, I will warn you. Nuka World is a great change of pace and a fantastic way to wrap up Fallout 4. It's a classic piece of Fallout DLC. You pick up a radio signal, travel to a mysterious new location, and play through what I like to call a vacation Fallout experience. That's what you get in this DLC, and it includes a several hours long main storyline with multiple endings that offer a decent amount of replay value. I will say that compared to Far Harbor, your decisions don't seem quite as impactful unless you decide not to work with the raiders at all. I'll touch more on that in the spoiler section. Outside of the main story, Nuka World has some ridiculously fun side quests to play around with. It really reminds me of vanilla Fallout 4 in that respect. We also get several new weapons with their own modifications, along with a ton of unique weapons to collect. Nuka World is set somewhere south and west of the Commonwealth, most likely in Pennsylvania if I had to guess. The new region includes 6 park zones with plenty of open land to explore outside of the park. While Fallout 4 definitely has a brighter color palette compared to previous games, Nuka World goes a step further. You'll find a ton of bright colors in Kitty Kingdom and the Galactic Zone that further distinguish the area from the main game. My favorite part of this DLC is the fact that each park zone feels unique from one another, and altogether, it feels quite different from the vanilla game. As you can expect with any Fallout game, the setting is dark and dreary, buildings have fallen down, civilization is broken apart, humanity is at the depths of its depravity. While those things are still true with Nuka World, the feeling is much different throughout this DLC. As the Raider Overboss, your adventure in this theme park feels whimsical and carefree. It's just what you would expect out of spending time at an amusement park. Bethesda really nailed that unsettling feeling that the Fallout universe tends to give off. This place used to be for families to come for vacation and have fun. It's now run by bloodthirsty, cap-hungry raiders that are enslaving traders and murdering people for fun. It's the perfect kind of sick and twisted experience that you would expect. In terms of difficulty, Nuka World presents some of the most difficult enemies in the entire game. As a level 30, I found myself struggling through the first portion of the DLC and in the Galactic Zone. This is the first time where Bethesda's level recommendation was, in my opinion, a bit too low for the content. You could say that the rest of Fallout 4 is too easy, but this content is definitely a wake-up call unless you're level 50 or above. It is genuinely difficult if you want to play above the normal difficulty level. In your journey, you will meet a new companion named Gage, who is loyal but sticks to his raider principles. It was nice to meet a companion who actively encourages the player to be morally bad, to do things that would earn the player bad karma if we still had a karma system in this game. What I also love about Gage is that he's okay with who he is. He's comfortable as a raider and really accepts that kind of lifestyle, so Gage was a totally welcome companion in Fallout 4. Before we dive into spoiler territory, overall I really enjoyed Nuka World. Compared to Far Harbor, I think it'll be a little less memorable for me, but it's a fantastic change of pace and a great way to cap off Fallout 4. With any Fallout game or DLC, I look for choices that genuinely affect the universe. I think it's really cool when player choice impacts the world at large. I didn't feel we had a lot of that in Nuka World. Obviously, there is a point in the main storyline where the sole survivor is sent back to the Commonwealth to take over settlements for the raiders, but I wasn't convinced that any of that really mattered because settlements don't seem to matter at all. I'm not going to rehash the same ideas that I've shared before on my channel, but taking over the Commonwealth for the raiders felt hollow because of how hollow settlements felt in the first place. Not to mention we have the return of those awful Radiant quests given by each raider gang leader that requires the sole survivor to travel back to the vanilla game. You would have thought Bethesda would have learned by now that Radiant quests with no context just don't work in Fallout games. That being said, the absolute best part of this DLC is the time you spend in the Nuka World theme park. Every zone, every side quest, every character, every raider gang is unique, and I love what they were able to achieve in the new region. I just wish Cedo in Safari Adventure would be my companion. That would be so cool. One of the last points I want to touch on is the idea of being evil in this DLC. Mark Tier, Nuka World lead artist, explained that Bethesda wanted to give players the opportunity to be evil in Nuka World. I think they kinda sorta pulled that off with this DLC. On one hand, working with raiders is inherently evil. Before Nuka World, almost every single raider you came across shoots you on sight. By association, helping the raiders take over and run Nuka World is evil. On the other hand, what choice did the player really have in this? You can decide to betray the raiders at one point and kill all of them, but that voids the entire main storyline and it's not really fun to do that. This DLC gives players the opportunity to be evil, but really doesn't provide an alternative in order to get through the questline, and I'm okay with that because it was really fun. It was still a memorable experience for me. It's just something definitely to note and point out and be aware of. To wrap up my review, people always ask if the DLC is worth the price. For $20 US, you get exactly what you pay for with Nuka World from a story-based Fallout DLC. There's so much you can do, and I haven't even explored everything that the DLC has to offer yet. I think a great way to look at it is if you bought Far Harbor and felt that was worth the $25, then Nuka World is certainly worth $20 if you put the time in to explore everything that it has to offer. Once again, this was a great DLC, Bethesda, and a fantastic way to wrap up this game. I'd like to hear from you all in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on Nuka World after completing it? What is your review of this DLC? And was it worth it? Was it worth the $20 US that you paid for it, or wherever you are from? Share all of your thoughts on Nuka World in the comment section below. Alright guys, today I shared my review of Nuka World, and next time we will cover more Fallout on my channel, so stay tuned for Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. If you learned something new or enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button, I would really appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe for more Nuka World coverage and general tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time, peace!